Choo choo. Democrats just boarded the Commie Express.
I endorsed Mayor-elect Mamdani myself.
Sure.
I congratulate him on his victory back in the primary, and I've endorsed him in the general election.
But do you think your leader was...
I'm all on board.
Lefties stuffed Pelosi on a one-way charter back to Napa. And now they're all buying one-way tickets on the commie train. No one's missing Nance, though. Finally, something we can all agree on. Trump said we finally got rid of Nancy's stench.
I was happy to see that a tremendous liability to this country, a woman that made herself rich in this country, Nancy Pelosi, has quit, and she'll be out of here pretty soon. And that I consider that to be a great asset for America, getting her out.
Now that Pelosi's retiring to the villages, Democrats are hitching their wagons to Zohran. Hakeem's hitchhiking in a sombrero, and Schumer's tied to the tracks getting run over.
Chuck Schumer was afraid to. This is now going to be the third time Chuck Schumer has been booed at a Democratic event I've been at in 48 hours.
It's the Brooklyn Bolshevik Revolution, and the Democrat royal family better get ready for the guillotine.
We got to get rid of the gerontocracy within the party. Down with the seniority structure that we have.
Everyone over 70 is dead weight, and they're getting thrown overboard. And if you were born in a foreign country, you get to ride in the front.
Do you have any plans to retire?
Sure. I have plans to retire.
Now?
And when that time comes, my daughters, I have 3 of them, I meet with them. It will not be done without that family consultation.
These lifelong politicians see the writing on the wall. A 34-year-old communist born in Uganda who wants to legalize prostitution and defund the police gets elected as mayor of New York City. They know this isn't your daddy's Democrat Party anymore. Axios says the party's in the middle of a generational war. The commies are telling the old guard to take their cues from Pelosi and make this their last term, or at least grow a pair.
Have some balls, like run a campaign. Tell us what your campaign is about. Don't be a fascist and be able to talk.
Democrats always danced around being communist. Finally, one of them was like, yeah, I'm a communist. And he won. And now they're all like, we should just say what we think too. Now Democrats want to run mini Mamdanis everywhere. They're even sending Hakeem to commie finishing school.
He has been a master, and frankly, he could do a master class for all Democrats on communication, whether you're talking about speaking with passion and heart and just talking to the working class.
The party at JFK is dead. This isn't even the party of Barack Obama. It's the Commie Mamdani party, and he's planting the hammer and sickle, boom, right down.
If tonight teaches us anything, it is that convention has held us back. We have bowed at the altar of caution, and we have paid a mighty price. We will leave mediocrity in our past. No longer will we have to open a history book for proof that Democrats can dare to be great.
Is communism what's been holding the Democrat Party back from being great? I always thought it was common sense and drag queen story hour. Well, nothing's holding Mamdani back. After he won on Tuesday, he went where he feels more comfortable, another country. Zohran's on the beach in Puerto Rico, which is beautiful. I love Puerto Rico. He probably needs a break after thumping Cuomo. He's attending a conference that's hosting a toes-in-the-sand beachfront party. Is it hypocritical for a communist to be getting massages at luxury spas in the tropics, while the New Yorkers he says he's fighting for can't make rent? Should he be enjoying an ooh-la-la body massage or a ginger wasabi yin body wrap by a male masseuse? And now that we're on that topic, should a man get a massage from another man? Clay Travis says yes. Or is this a well-deserved vacation after a tough campaign? We also hear the hotel offers Pilates. It's a combo of yoga and Pilates. How limber should the commie be on inauguration? Or will he be too sore to fight the war on capitalism? Are Kami Mandami's voters jealous he's drinking pina coladas at the pool while they're yelling about affordability?
I think the average, Ivy League grad voting for this mayor is highly annoyed that their education is not that valuable. And the person down the street who knows how to drill for oil and gas, who's moved to Texas, has a more valuable profession. And I think that annoys the out of these people.
He's right. Every revolution starts with a forgotten base. Democrats shut down pipelines and told the workers, learn how to code. Liberals laughed, remember? But guess what? Now they wish they knew how to code, because progressive New Yorkers with PhDs can't even get a call back. Who made New York City unlivable? Not Trump. He didn't pour 2 million migrants into the housing market. He didn't shut down power plants. He didn't block new home construction. He didn't tell you to take out $200,000 in debt to get a degree in DEI. And he definitely didn't spend trillions of dollars and jack up inflation. Mamdani voters should be mad at Biden and Adams and de Blasio. But if Democrats aren't the answer and Republicans are fascists, then you got to go with the commie. But Barack Hussein says, calm down.
Tuesday was nice, but we've got a lot of work to do. Yeah, we have differences, and yes, there are fights that are going to have to be fought, but that deep down, there is something core in us that we have in common that is extraordinary.
Barack saying, sometimes families fight, and that's okay. We're still getting together for Thanksgiving. But this Thanksgiving scares me, because the Clintons are joining forces with the communists to pack the court.
I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. A Democrat is going to be elected in 2028. You know that. I know that. It's going to be a Democratic House. It's going to be a Democratic Senate. They're going to recommend that the number of Supreme Court justices go from 9 to 13. That's going to happen, people. That's going to happen to you.
Carville's got some liquid courage. One shot of Mamdani, and he's letting it all hang out. Democrats aren't beating around the bush anymore. They're not hiding their beliefs. They're telling us, yeah, we're going to tax white neighborhoods, and yeah, price controls, hundo P. The trans congressman is downright giddy they let a commie in. And he's saying, come one, come all.
It goes both ways. A big tent is bisexual. It goes to the left and the right. And that starts with us being kind to one another, being respectful to one another, and being welcoming to one another.
Thanksgiving dinner is going to get messy. They might not even have any food on the table. It's day gazillion of the Schumer shutdown. Food stamps are drying up. People are going to go hangry before the holidays. Jon Stewart says Tuesday was big, but Democrats will probably screw it up.
I think the Democrats are still a mess. I truly believe they're a mess just because there is, what this shows to me is, again, there is this underlying potential energy within the United States of America that is much larger than I think any of us could have imagined. And channeling that energy directionally will be the challenge for whoever wants to harness it. I still don't believe they're doing that.
And the Democrats say they're fighting for you, but they're flying to Puerto Rico and won't pay the military. Flights are grounded. Their own voters who work for the government aren't getting paid. But Democrats are voting to pay themselves, just not anybody else. Yeah, they won a few races in some blue states, and now they're feeling cocky.
I think that there is no reason to surrender now, every reason to stand firm.
They're shutting down the government, not to hurt they're trying to hurt Trump. They're not trying to help you. They're not doing it for the people. They're doing it for the power.
If we surrender without having gotten anything, and we cause a lot of folks in this country who had started to believe in the Democratic Party to retreat again, I worry that it will be hard to sort of get them back up off the mat in time for next fall's election cycle.
Sources tell Primetime that Democrats in the Senate already starting to cave. Moderate Democrats are getting anxious about flight cancellations and soldiers not getting checks. And we already have 3 Senate Democrats voting to open. We just need 5 more. Schumer only shut down the government to prove he was tough to the commie wing. Well, the commie wing just won. And all these Senate Democrats, especially the older ones, have targets on their back. This isn't a game of chicken with Trump and Schumer. This is a game of chicken with Schumer and the commies. The Republican strategy is working. Just hold the line. If they give in now and hand Democrats what they want, Republicans will get extorted year after year. Let the commies extort Schumer, not the GOP.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.